Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my Monday night YHAT report. But before I start, I do want to say that we are standing at the greatest times or living at the precipice of the greatest revelation in human history. The truth about who we are, where we come from, and what has been hidden from us is now preparing to break free from the shadows. So for centuries, the world has been controlled by deception, but now the veils are lifting. The hidden forces that have manipulated humanity through secrecy and illusion have lost their grip, and the floodgates of disclosure are about to open. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ishmael Perez, and I'm excited to be here on this beautiful Monday night evening. Welcome to all, or happy Memorial Day to all the veterans out there. Today is Memorial Day here in the United States, and it is a day that we honor all the men in service. Let me see if I get more light in here. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Let there be light, and there was light. I can shut my phone light. All right, so today is May the 26th, 2025. And yes, guys, we are still on a steady timeline trajectory. For those that don't know me, my name is Ishmael Perez, and I am a cosmic analyst, galactic historian, author of two amazing works. The first one is Our Cosmic Origin, a book that restores galactic history back to the Earth. And the second one is called The Secret Government Invisible Architects, a book which details the history of the brotherhoods going back to the ancient world. And of course, for those that are into detoxing, I do have a product that I've been advertising for the last couple of months. It's been doing wonders for me. I'm actually about to take some in a little bit. I forgot, so I'm gonna have to do it in a little bit. But how it works, guys, is that this product is actually designed to, it's like the ultimate, you could say, inflammatory, right? It gets rid of all the toxins, all the metals, all that. And it also cleans up the mitochondria. So it is, the way to take it is one capsule or 3 capsules a day per meal. So it's best to take one of each. There are folium oxidant and folium relax, and folium immuno, folium relax, and then of course folium px. So if you take all 3 capsules 3 times a day, you're going to get massive benefits. Okay, and so, Bobby wants to say he appreciates a lot of the followers and the viewers who are actually sending him the thank you messages. I guess a lot of people that have been taking this product are satisfied, and the product does speak for itself. And so, in his opinion, these products have come from cosmic power, as all the ingredients are all natural and holistic, and have been here since the planet existed. But just in the last few years, Dr. Bobby Oren was able to put these ingredients together, okay? So he strongly recommends taking advantage of the discount provided for you guys, right? If you guys go through the link that I provide in the description and type in Perez 25, or if you are international, then it's Perez 10. So for domestic, the code name for the discount, free shipping, that's what it does. It covers the shipping, is Perez 25. Internationally is Perez 10. And again, I will put the description, the link in the description. Now, another thing I wanted to share about this is that it is very important to understand that heavy metals toxicity in aquatic life as a result of human activities poses a grave health threat to water quality, aquatic and human life. Parasites may serve as indicators of heavy metal pollution. This research investigated by health status of the fish, Heterorotes niloticus vis-a-vis quality of the water and sediment in leaky lagoon, parasitic infection, presence of heavy metal, and oxidative stress response in the liver. And of course, this product, gets rid of all of that. So I just wanted to read this from a medical journey, a medical paper. Now, before I get with the updates, the YHAT updates, I do want to also let everybody know that has taken my course. Every course is booked, starts next week. Ascension 2.0 is booked. Our Cosmic Origin is booked. I only have about, 3 spots left for Ascension Basics. Now, for all my new subscribers, if you have not taken my Ascension Basics course, I answer a lot of your questions there. The process of going from 3D to 5D, the characteristics, the ascension symptoms. We go into the ascension mechanics. We talk about the path of enlightenment, and all the different stages from awakening to enlightenment. So it is a very good class to take, just to kind of understand the basics in this spirituality stuff. And yeah, I only have 3 spots left in my basic ascension class, and that one starts, I believe, Saturday, if I'm not correct, or is it Friday? Saturday, I believe. So go to my website or cosmicorigin.com and make sure you guys sign up for Ascension Basics, just to get the elementary understanding of this process that we're all going through cleared. Okay, and with no further ado, I am going to start now with a lot of things. Okay, let me explain something, guys. The reason they stole the election in Canada a few weeks ago, right? If you guys remember, it was because it was a move done by the cabal in order to keep thwarting the EBS. Okay, so it's the last, you could say, move of chess. Okay, and as from what I understand, the I don't want to call him a clone, but the actor known as Prince Charles is actually the last, you could say, puppet of the cabal that's left. Okay, Zelensky has fallen. Okay, Israel is about to fall. King Charles is about to be taken out, and let me explain why King Charles is about to be taken out. And of course, they will blame it on cancer. Okay, so what's about to happen tomorrow in Ottawa is not a diplomatic ceremony. It is no tradition. It is not about honoring the crown. It is a declaration of war, guys. An information war, more likely, a psychological war, and of course, geopolitical attack. And directly, of course, aimed at Donald J. Trump, the true president of the United States, who has been dismantling the deep state from within ever since his silent re-inauguration in January. King Charles, who is believed to be terminally ill, and I'm talking about the actor, not the original King Charles. Again, the original King Charles was taken out a few years back, along with all the other originals. So we're talking about central casting here. So this actor that is playing his role, who supposedly is terminally ill and barely coherent in private settings, has been dragged across the Atlantic, not to fulfill royal duties, but to serve the globalist machine one last time before he collapses entirely. Again, he's going to have an unfortunate incident. Maybe I'm not supposed to be saying this, but yeah, that is the plan. His speech from the throne, scheduled for Tuesday, which is tomorrow, the 27th of May, will not be his words, okay? It will be Mark Carney's. It will be BlackRock, okay? It will be the WEF, the UN, and every Rothschild, Murdoch, Soros mouthpiece rolled into one. So what is the real agenda that is about to happen tomorrow when supposedly King Charles makes this announcement? Well, it's to humiliate Trump, to isolate America, and signal loyalty to the cabal, okay? And Carney, which is the guy who stole the election in Canada, right? Who was even worse than Trudeau, if you ask me, and former Bank of England operative, have hijacked the British monarchy to send a hostile message, and his entire government is an extension of the same elite financial structure that President Trump has been dismantling since his return back to power. Carney was installed in April, right, after an election riddled with censorship, mailed-in ballot manipulation, very similar to what happened within the States in 2020 when they stole the election here, and voter suppression of Trump-aligned Canadian voices. And this is why it's taken a while for the U.S. to annex Canada as the 51st state, okay? But again, this is not going to be very long. I would say this is probably just going to take another few months before the White Hats are able to, again, install the Republic worldwide and end the reign of the globalist deep staters, or even a few weeks, not even a few months. So his first move, of course, calls for a deeper integration into the UN global governance. We're talking about Carney here, right? The deep state's puppet in Canada. to become you could say, the integration of the UN global governance model, pledged climate operations to the WHO and the WEF, and issue a direct challenge to Trump's America. Canada will not be for sale, quote, coming from Carney, ever. Of course, he is trying to prevent the annexing, right, the bringing Canada as the 51st state. But as every patriot knows, this wasn't a statement of sovereignty. It was a pledge of servitude to the WEF and the Bilderberg Group. So now, to reinforce the message, they're using a dying monarch, which is King Charles. And like I said, it's not going to be that he's going to be dying, although the media is going to say that he died from C, right? But he's really just going to be taken out, to publicly side with Canada, the actor, in its trade war with Trump. So a war that the elites provoked deliberately to block Trump's America First Gold tariff initiative, which, again, will be very important to the gold-backed standard U.S. Treasury, right? The rainbow currency. So they're trying to blunt Trump's first gold tariff initiative, which has already devastated foreign supply chains controlled by the IMF-aligned cartels. Now, for those that don't know who the IMF is, that is the International Monetary Fund. Okay, so British officials behind closed doors are terrified, not because they oppose Trump, but because they know that his speech will provoke him to act decisively. So whispers in Whitehall confirm that multiple ministers begged Ottawa, to keep Charles out of the geopolitical line of fire. So they were ignored. Okay, why? Well, because the order came from above, from the very deep state structure that Trump has been exposing since his first term. So this speech is being broadcast globally. Okay, the elite want to use the optics of loyalty. The optics of royalty to prop up a puppet regime in Canada and undermine the legitimate president of the United States of America. So this is a Canadian operation, guys, right? They're trying to not become an X with the U.S. They don't want to be a part of the U.S. But again, this is a global chess game, right? A global chess game between Trump and, of course, the international global cabal. And Trump has the entire backing of the alliance, okay? So Carney's regime is now the flagship for the globalist North American push. Brandon's puppet administration is collapsing, or did collapse rather, under criminal indictment, and military tribunals have already begun revealing the extent of the treason inside Washington. So with the Trump-led alliance tightening its grip on the United States, the cabal's power structure has shifted north to Canada, okay? So I know some of you Canadians that are watching these are probably saying, what? Well, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, run intelligence compromised and fully digitized under UN biometric ID programs. So that's what the UEF run intelligence has done to the Canadians right now due to this prime minister that stole the election. But Ottawa's leadership is now coordinating with the European Union and the Commonwealth allies to create a post-Trump alliance. And King Charles is being deployed as a symbolic anchor to legitimize that union. But this isn't ceremonial symbolism, okay? It is a cult-style ritual theater designed to send encoded messages through ancient power hierarchies. So expect Charles' speech tomorrow to be filled with pre-approved dog whistles, okay? Mentions of sovereignty, meaning UN sovereignty, right? Unity, meaning central global banking control, and climate leadership, meaning backdoor surveillance through carbon credits and, of course, 15-minute city lockdowns. But it's not going to happen because the Whiteheads are going to pull the plug on this operation. This is their agenda. This is their final play, guys, okay? And that's the reason why the Prime Minister of Canada stole the election, okay? So above all, it will subtly frame President Trump as the threat to international stability. This is what they want. A carefully crafted psychological operation to turn allies against him, to isolate America, and to slow the financial takedown of the deep state. Well, reports from the MI6 insiders confirm that a quiet panic brewing in the British government is happening. Not all factions support the cabal. Some are aligned with Trump's military alliance, and they see what is coming. The risk of backlash, the risk of backlash is severe. If Charles reads Carney's speech as written, it will be seen by Trump aligned forces as a hostile action by the United Kingdom against the United States. And yes, they are already internal memos that are circulating through the US, through the UK, defense channels warning of massive diplomatic fallout and potential counterintelligence designations of Commonwealth linked entities operating in North America. 1 second. Just had some food prior to going live, and I had to remember to take my supplements. 1 second. Okay, so the fear is real, okay? That Trump may order some sanctions, intelligence lockdowns, or even full exposure of the royal family's deep state ties, including the crown's hidden stake in global little one trafficking networks. Of course, long buried behind the NDAs, the Jeffrey linked offshore accounts and the Vatican cover-ups. But of course, the timing is by no accident. Okay, there is no coincidence that this event is happening on the eve of major disclosures for Gitmo. And I believe that Trump did have an announcement today. And from what I heard, I haven't been able to hear it myself, but I heard that his announcement was about disclosing the truth about extraterrestrials. Okay, so this is a good thing because this is going to push the disclosure agenda, okay, which is what we need right now more than anything, because that will blow the lid on the deep state. Okay, so so international tribunals are actually set to release their next wave of findings involving NATO, the WHO, those who don't know who the WHO is, the World Health Organization, and World Bank war criminals. Okay, so it's also no coincidence that tomorrow's marks the full deployment of Starlink Phase 4. Starlink Phase 4, all right, which means that due to this move that the cabal pulled through Canada, this could give them a reason to activate what is known as Project Odin. Project Odin. So right now, Starlink has actually is now in Phase 4, giving the Trump White Hat Alliance complete control over communications for the first time since September 11, 2001. So that's good news. That's good news. Okay, so the globalists know that their media infrastructure is collapsing. This speech is a last-ditch attempt by the globalists, right, from King Charles, to hijack global attention, reframe the narrative, and plant a seed of confusion before the next hammer drops, which is what's going to lead to disclosure. So, in addition to all of this, I do want to talk a little bit about the gold-backed standard and how it's going to be, the new financial system. I know I kind of touched on this before. I do read the chat, I do read the comments, and sometimes people are asking me to give more details about what's going to be happening, to talk more about the EVS. But according to some insiders, it is believed, guys, that as of the 26th of May, that Trump just signed an EO for global standard, an executive order for global standard to be used in federal agencies, ensuring scientific methods are not manipulated for political purposes. So this is good news, okay? And they also disclosed, or they also found out that Brandon Hunter, right, had 2 laptops, right? We're talking about the laptops of hell. There was 2 of them now, actually, right? And that federal agents helped bury the second one. So not only did the media ignore, Hunter's first laptop, but most people miss that he left another one with his psychiatrist. Well, all right. Well, that go figure, right? He was seeing a psychiatrist. That second laptop was actually seized during the DEA raid, according to insiders, then quietly shipped back to Hunter's attorney. Garrett Ziegler says that the DEA cover up Hunter Biden's second laptop after the raid. The three-letter agency that starts with the F, ends with an I, covered the laptop that was dropped off at JP Mac Isaac's shop. Yes, everybody knows that, but what they don't talk about often is that the DEA also covered for Hunter's because they took another one of his laptops. Again, there are two laptops here involved, guys. Okay, so which was inside Keith Eblow's safe when Keith Eblow was raided by the DEA. So now why Hunter left it there? So that is the question. Why would Hunter leave it there, right? Well, that's something that only Keith can reveal. Okay. And yes, they're going to get that information out of him regarding these two laptops. So apparently the federal agencies covered it all up, and they have been. But again, thanks to the Department of Government Efficiency and the classified information that Trump has now access to, a lot of this information is now unearthing. Okay. So as of the 26th of May, also Brandon staffers were actually taking payoffs. They found out that Brandon staffers that were working for him were taking payoffs in exchange for auto pen pardons. One of them was code 1519, which was the destructive alternative, or no, it was called the destructive alteration or falsification of records. Another one was under the code name 1512, under the U.S. code name, and that was about tampering with a witness. The third one was under the U.S. code name 1503, and that was for the obstruction of justice. The fifth one was code name 201, and that was for bribery. And then the final one was code name 2381, and that was for treason. Okay. So as of the 26th of this month, the FBI and the DOJ were actually ordered by no other than a bomber to not arrest Hillary Clinton for espionage in violation of 18 U.S. Code 793. In fact, Obama effectively served as Hillary Clinton's personal lawyer in this case. Well, the three-letter agency that starts with the C, John Ratcliffe, Lisa Page confirmed to him that under oath at the FBI, or confirmed to the insider that is revealing this, that the FBI was ordered by the Obama DOJ not to consider charging the witch Clinton for gross negligence in the handling of classified information. And so now this is going to be exposed as well. So yeah, there's a lot of dirt that's going to be coming out. And this is just surface level dirt. You know, it's going to go much deeper when it gets into the Dee Dee Epstein tapes and footages and, you know, everybody on the list and flight logs and all that stuff. It's going to hit the fan good. Okay. So government officials are giving no bid contracts to their developer donors and then becoming subcontractors on the housing projects and getting paid. They're actually stealing from everyone. They were, okay. They're not even biting, you know, these projects. These are buddies of their, you could say, of theirs at the country club. The money's going straight from the government to the contractors, but the contractor pays invoices right to his subcontractors. So these government officials are becoming subcontractors on the jobs. So project manager fee goes for about $100,000, and they're just stealing from the people's, of course, from us. They're flat out stealing from everyone. And then so basically, Senator Marco Rubio demands answers, right? And he did tweet that on his social media, that he demands answers as global backlash erupts. Okay, so apparently they are onto this. And another report came in saying that starting in late May, which is now, anytime now, select groups of everyday people were invited to set up a QFS linked account as part of a controlled pilot program. Okay, for those of you that have been asking me about the QFS. Okay, so a few customers have noticed faster transfers or glitches that were actually QFS transactions in action. A small number of folks have already received instructions to download a new digital wallet app under the guise of a beta financial service. These were actually real QFS wallets, and these users were now unknowingly transacting on the quantum system. So it's already activated, okay? Um, there have been community training sessions run by insider volunteers under the NDA, of course, the NDA, teaching people about asset backed currency and how to use the new system. Some banks have quietly updated their software to route certain transactions through the QFS for testing already. And in test runs, debts were being erased in stealth mode, loan balances were disappearing, individuals across various countries were waking up to find their credit card or student loan balances at zero with no clear explanation. Homeowners were receiving letters about mortgage recalculations, and of course, tax debt cancellations. Tax debt cancellations. So it's already happening to some people. And as of May 25th, 2025, which was yesterday, we have entered the enforcement phase of the QFS. The healing technology as well, right? The quantum healing modalities, once hoarded by the elite, again, has now been in the hands of the white hats. And yeah, this is cool. This is very interesting. A little bit more about the signature, the energetic signature that is going to be read by the quantum by the quantum healing modalities. So this has been militarily confirmed by the Earth Alliance, Sanctioned Truth, and the gatekeepers now are saying that it isn't about money or status, but political connections. So they believe, again, that the healing modality known as the quantum bed, healing bed, right, the MedBed, is going to be connected to our brainwaves. Okay, it's going to be reading your frequency. So as of, I guess, this week, another update from the Alliance, Trump's Space Force Command, under the umbrella of the Restored Republic and the Quantum Healing Directive, made it official, guys, that brainwave training is now legally an operational required for MedBed interaction. So the purpose is very simple, okay? The machines operate on a level that is higher than flesh and blood. They read intention, they scan resonance, and there's a reason why, right? They don't want this to get into the hands of the wrong or the wicked, as it once was. But know that the cabal have been stripped from these modalities and they have been modified, right? So that way, the wicked cannot be healed, okay? Only the righteous. Whereas in the past, the cabal was using these modalities to heal themselves, right? Where they were selling us the chemical drugs. But anyways, so the purpose is very simple. The machines operate on a very level that is higher than flesh and blood. They read intention. They scan your resonance. They recognize coherence. And if your mind is disjointed, looping in trauma, fear, or mental programming, you're going to have to go through a process of healing that first by correcting your frequency before you're able to be a positive read to the MedBed technology. And, President Donald J. Trump just planned this year in advance before his return in January 2025 that he was already working with the U.S. military alliance to retrieve MedBed technology from elite-controlled facilities buried beneath the Ukraine, Switzerland, Australia, and D.C. These devices, powered by zero-point energy and interfacing with consciousness, right? These have been made as technologies of light, were never meant to be hidden from us, right? They were meant to free us from the pharmaceutical, cartel. So for the first time in history, the human brain is being treated as a sacred gateway that it is. And this is a good thing, right? And the military has deployed the most advanced training system on Earth. And of course, this was given to us by the Galactics. You could say that has ever seen to support that transition, right? The transition of having an unhealthy brainwave, you could say, structure to a healthy brainwave structure. So critical updates regarding the brainwave access training system. was actually released as of yesterday, 2025. New modules and training enforcement mechanisms have been added across the country, especially within the MedBed preparation zones in Tennessee, Texas, Montana, and Florida. And of course, eventually it's going to reach the entire states and hence the world. But it does begin here in the states. These updates follow the findings. They follow the findings of the quantum organic, you could say living artificial command units embedded inside every active MedBed site. So here are the major changes just implemented. The expanded alpha recalibration session, right? Now mandatory for all levels. And so why would that matter? Well, alpha waves are responsible for clarity and calmness required for MedBed coherence. And that's why I teach my students in my Ascension courses how powerful it is to live in the presence and be mindful, right? Because it allows you to stay in that alpha brainwave where you don't need to go through these processes. You're going to be the first one to be called for the healing modality, okay? But that's also, of course, if you don't go into the fifth dimension, because if you go into the fifth dimension, guys, you're going to bypass the healing modalities. You won't need a MedBed. You are your own healing MedBed, okay? You're going to be using your own light body to heal yourself. So this mainly pertains to those that are advancing into the fourth dimensional Earth reality, okay? So sessions have been extended to 45 minutes minimum. Tachyon light therapy, again, a gift from the Arcturians, has been added. Special military guided biofeedback machines now track alpha wave stabilization in real time, ensuring the subject can maintain emotional balance. And then, of course, the success rate will be dramatic improvement. So that's good news. Now, the second one is called the Theta Recall Activation, which is going to be added to Class B curriculum, the Class B curriculum. This is called the Theta Recall Activation, okay? And the purpose of this is that theta waves unlock suppressed trauma and forgotten soul memories. So that is the key to full spectrum healing, okay? The clearing of that. New update. Hypnagogic chambers immersion has been approved now, using sound frequency immersion and memory triggering algorithms. Participants now activate deeper neural pathways. And this has already helped hundreds remember abuse they were programmed to forget, freeing them from the healing process, okay? So the next one is going to be the Delta State Integration, which now has military oversight over this process, okay? And why? Well, because the Delta frequency mastery is essential for regenerating organs, cellular rejuvenation. A lot of people ask me, I want to be young forever, which is the foundation of what MedBeds can do, okay? There is a branch of MedBeds that will keep you looking 30 for a few hundred years. All right, also an update on this. Earth Alliance MedTech soldiers have now guide users through Delta immersion using deep state silent pods. Deep state silent pods. Deep state, not as in the cabal, deep state as in a deep mental state of relaxation. Let me make that correction there. You know, a deeper relaxation silence pods, rather. Originally designed for special forces sleep training. And the result was healing outcomes improved, faster regeneration times, deeper emotional release, and most importantly, Delta coherence reduces energy blowback during activation. And then the next one is called the Gamma State, which is training approval for the top tier patriots and those that are part of the U.S. military that are working with the Alliance, the real military. So what does this mean? Well, gamma wave alignments linked to the human field linked to the MedBed's quantum consciousness. This is where miracles begin to happen. Limps begin to grow for those that are using synthetic body parts. Okay, memory is restored for those that are suffering from Alzheimer's or what's the other one? Alzheimer's and mental diseases, and even multi-generational trauma removal. Okay, the next one is called the new feature. The Gamma labs that are run by the Quantum Task Force are now live across 11 U.S. bases. The first groups of candidates that began training with fractal light geometries. Again, These modalities are a gift from the galactic extraterrestrial people. The fractal light geometries, soul tone harmonics, and biophotonic interfacing to align with the full MedBed architecture. Guys, this is it. This is going to be part of the golden age reality. So it is important to note this is an invitation only. Gamma operators will become Earth's future healers, trained not only to use the beds, but to teach and guard them. And then, of course, sovereignty is key in all of this, and the people are rising. So, for generations, we were taught to hand over our health, our thoughts, and our authority to systems designed to enslave us. And we were sedated by television, right? The Mockingbird media. For those who don't know what Mockingbird, that was the CIA operation that was ordered by the Rothschilds to dispatch Jacob Schiff. For those who have read my book, The Secret Government, is all detailed there, how they began the Mockingbird media takeover. It all started with Jacob Schiff, who was a Rothschild agent. And Jacob Schiff had a protocol of things. He had 4 things he needed to accomplish in America. And one of them was to buy into the business with J.P. Morgan. And another one was to get control of the media. And the third one was to plant stooges into political offices that were going to be puppets. And then the fourth one was to create racial strife in America. Again, read The Secret Government, guys. It's all there. Everything that has ever happened, okay? So for generations, we were taught to hand over our health and our thoughts and our authority to systems designed to enslave us. We were sedated by television, numbed by food, right? Even the food that we've been eating is fake. Disconnected through digital hypnosis. People do spend a lot of time on their cell phones, unfortunately. But now the people are remembering, right? Americans are awakening. Let's just say the whole world is awakening. Thousands have already entered the Brainwave training centers, and many are passing through the class, all the way from class A, B, and C at unprecedented speeds. And the only reason this hasn't been offered to you guys is because through this quantum living organic system computer, they're already reading people's vibration. So that's the reason why a lot of you who are watching this or are going to watch this on the replay have not been called for this, because they're mainly calling the people that really need it, that have hard trauma, that are still very low frequency. So they're trying to get them, you could say, ready for MedBed technology. So this is what was made for. This is what everything was made for, right? For a time like this. And the MedBeds are not alien to us, guys, for they have been used within the private sector for over 80 years. The breakaway groups, the secret space programs have been using this technology, hiding it from the public. And now we are finally going to get it back. They are going to return to what was, what they stole. And the American people, guided by Trump, the U.S. military, and the Earth Alliance, and the Galactic Alliance, are proving that they are ready to emerge once again. So every healed veteran, by the way, happy Veterans Day. No, Memorial Day, sorry, Memorial Day. But isn't Memorial Day about, people that have served, right? So happy Memorial Day. Every free child, every patriot, every mother who resisted medical tyranny, they're first in line, guys. They're first in line. And the technology is responding. It is a living quantum, again, like Michelle Fielding said, it is a living consciousness. All right. So this technology is a living consciousness, and it is organic. Okay. It's not AI. I know some people are saying that it is an AI computing system, but I was able to confirm through Commander Valiant Thor that it is a different type of AI. It is a consciousness, organic consciousness infused computer. So it's organic. It does have emotions, and it is powered by God consciousness, So now these MedBeds will no longer be for the elites, right? They will soon be for the people. And so the MedBeds are for the people. They're about to come out, and it's very exciting to know that even within the fourth dimensional Earth reality, we are going to be seeing drastic, transformations, right, of world structures within a matter of days, weeks, perhaps even, less than a few months, where it's going to go from one particular Earth, this current Earth reality, into a Star Trek civilization at the speed of light, which is very, 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 very awesome. So I do want to address a question. I was able to read the chat prior to going live, and somebody was asking me about like when do we go into this golden age reality, and how long will this golden age last? There we go, much better. So, how long will this golden age last? Is the question. Well, this golden age is normally going to be for all time and all eternity. And there's a reason for that. Okay. In the past, right, due to the stellar activation cycles, which I explained during my Saturday Night Live, the Earth goes through these, you could say, phases, world ages, right, where it spends about 10,000 years in darkness outside of the photon belt, right, which is the solar system aligning with the equator of the, what we call our central sun, Alcyon. And then it goes back into the photon belt for about 2,000 years. So every time it's in the photon belt, our planet goes through golden ages where consciousness is heightened, where everyone's living as brothers and sisters, everything is in balance, cooperating in harmony. We're one with the universe. We're going, we're living with the natural forces of creation, and everything is fine. There is no corruption. There is no ego. Okay, this is what we call Christ consciousness types of realities. And then, of course, when the Earth leaves the photon belt, right, it goes back into the dark ages for about 10,000 years. Well, luckily for us, right, because we are living in the best times ever, known as they call it the fullness of times. And I think the Mormons actually even adapted that statement that we are now living in the fullness of times. And the reason why is because the Earth has already completed about 5,500 cycles of that 26,000 year, 2,000 years in the photon belt, right? Generating a golden age, 10,000 years in darkness outside of the photon belt, where we're experiencing a decline in the golden age into the silver age, then the bronze, then the iron, which is what they call hell on earth, where the dark forces are ruling absolutely, right? And then so it's already completed 5,500 of those cycles. So imagine 5,500, 26,000 year cycles. And as a result of that, the Earth is no longer scheduled to go back into the dark, or what we call the dark age, right? The 10,000 year period known as the dark age. So now the Earth is going to be steadily on a positive timeline trajectory into the higher realms. Okay, so not only are we going to be entering the 4th, 5D, and 6D Earth, which is what I've been calling the Terra Earth, but we're also going to be going eventually after that, after the millennium and the final war against Omega Metatron, the AI god, Enki and their minions. Enki, of course, fled our galaxy and our universe, went to another universe, but he will be returning at the end of the millennium for one final battle against the forces of good, which is us. And once we finalize that war, we're going to be settled in life and light for all eternity. So unfortunately, at the end of the millennium, there is going to be one final battle against AI, which is what we call Satan. Hope you guys are having a beautiful Monday night, evening. And let's see. Oh, I actually have to correct myself from earlier. So the most effective way of taking advantage of the Folium product is for the first month, you only take the PX 3 times a day, PX. And then the next month, you take Immuno and Relax together 3 times a day. And then that will give you, okay, so you don't take all 3 of them together. You take first PX for 1 month by itself 3 times a day, and then Relax and Immuno, I'm talking about the Folium product, 3 times a day for the second month. And that will give you the best results as far as cleaning your body from toxins, totally oxidating your bloodstream from metals, parasites, and all that. And so, yeah, I just wanted to correct myself really quick. And I do want to give some acknowledgments. And by the way, guys, I know that there's a very few of you that have been, every now and then you guys, send a donation to my my Zelle, which is like PayPal, which is under my email, Project Restoration Zion, Z-I-O-N, at gmail.com. And I just wanted to thank you guys for those that are out there, sending support to help my cause. I appreciate that. And again, for those that want to support my cause, I do have a Zelle, which is very similar to PayPal, under my Gmail, Project Restoration Zion at gmail.com. gmail.com, and that goes directly to my bank account. Before I take Q&A, of course, I do want to give some shout outs to the people. I know that Bernadette Clark is here, Lee Starr is here, Deborah Wees is here, Leah Archer is in the house, Kathy, is it Wolflam? Some of you guys have some interesting names. Starlight Saransan, Stormy Night, Sylvia Vidal, Faction Love, Patricia Secha, and who else is in the house? Terry Carl, Brenda Perales. Neo is in the house. Lily is in the house. Sylvia Vidal, I've already called her. Kathy M, MJF, Sandra, Overwhelmed 25-8. She says, hello ish. Blue Rose is in the house. Cheryl, Angela, Wes Acton, and all 3,100 people that are in the house. Welcome to my Monday night Y-Hat update. And I hope you guys are having a beautiful Memorial Day weekend. Okay, so for those that don't know how to, my Gmail that is directly connected to my cell, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there in the chat. So it is project, I think I spelled it right, restorationzion@gmail.com. I've already threw it in the chat, and I pinned it for you guys. Because some people do ask me, how do you spell your full email? So that's my email for you guys. All right, so let's take some Q&A. I'm just going to go random here. Let's see. Again, guys, make sure you guys type your questions in capital letters. Okay, type your questions in capital letters. I guess it's best that I turn on the light, huh? Let there be light. It's just that I feel like when I turn on the light, there's a shadow in my eye. But it's okay. It's okay. Alrighty, so let's get into Q&A. I'm hearing myself here on my cell phone. Oh yeah, the Folium Pratum link is in the description, guys. It's in the description. You know what? I'll go ahead and put the link also in the chat because I know some of you guys want to order it right now, and then you guys forget. So here is the link. 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and just put the link in the chat. Okay, there is the link. I also put it in the chat. Okay, research ingredients carefully. Yes, correct. Yes. Thank you for all you do and share with us. This is Patsy Robinson. Oh, you guys are so welcome. It is an honor to be here and serve in the most greatest times ever to be living on Earth. Let's see. Who am I going to... Do you guys have questions for me? All right, this is a good question. Okay, I have a question from Archangel Thea. Welcome, Archangel Thea. We are gathering the Celestials on my YouTube channel. This is the 144,000. Welcome, welcome. I see that I do have a lot of archangels that are in the house. A lot of angels, a lot of high-level beings, ascended beings. Okay, so Archangel Thea has a question. Hi, Ishmael. I wanted to know whether the Y-Hats are only releasing the MedBeds after ascension, since you say that those of us who go into 5D won't need them. That is a good question, Archangel Thea. You know, I don't really know. It's very similar to what came first, the chicken or the egg. I don't know how it's all going to go down. I used to think it was going to be all simultaneously at the same time during the ascension, and then the MedBed technologies and the alien technology was all going to be released in the fourth D Earth. But I don't know. I have a feeling that due to the fact that we're going to have 3 waves of ascension, the first wave of ascension is not only going to activate the first wavers, right, the supernatural powers, but it's also going to be the first level of disclosure, which will lead to the releasing of the MedBed technology. So this is going to happen before the 3rd wave of ascension. And from what I understand is that during the 2nd wave of ascension, the first wavers are going to advance into 5D, and the second wavers are going to go into 4th D. And then in the third wave of ascension, everybody on the planet goes into fourth D, and those in the second wave and first wave go into 5D or above. That's what I was told. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. And then the second part of your question is, that is true. For those of us that ascend or advance into the 50 and higher, you won't be needing no external technology. You will be your own technology. Okay, you will be your own technology. Why? Because there is a powerful, untapped, hidden, organic, you could say natural living technology laying with dormant within our DNA, and that is connected to all living things. So that technology is once again going to be reactivated. It was a living technology that was once used during the times of Atlantis, and then again it was resurrected during the golden age of Egypt. All right, and now it's returning. Okay, so yeah, so we won't be needing MedBeds, fifth dimensional high or higher. This is a good question from Gord Weber. Is Mark Carney, let me turn this off, it's getting cold in here. Is Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, being forced to work for the Y Hats? And the answer to that is yes, but I'm not supposed to be saying that. Again, you know, the imposter King Charles, the reptilian, human reptilian hybrid Charles, is going to have an unfortunate accident. Okay, which again, it's going to be televised as he passed away from the sea, right? Because he's got that. But from what I understand is that when that happens, yes, that's when we're going to be seeing a huge takeover from all the puppets worldwide. Thank you so much, Jesse Simonson. I got your Zelle through my email. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's how it's going to happen. So yes, the answer to answer your question is yes. Yes, that's the plan. The plan is to take over the Canadian, cabal, so that Canada can become the 51st state. And then, of course, then they're going to go after Australia. Australia is also run by the deep state. Is it safe to drink out of aluminum cans? Um, I just honestly, I would stay away from aluminum generally, or period, just because there is, depending on if the can has been out in the heat, some of those aluminum particles go into the water or the Coke or the whatever it is that you're drinking, the soda, and then you drink that. So, and I will also stay away from drinking water from plastic bottles, because those plastic bottles have contaminants. Whoa, questions are going so fast. Questions are going super fast, guys. Um, does 4D have AI? I don't know who answered that. The questions are going so fast, but I did capture. Does 4D have AI? And the answer to that is yes. 4D is going to have a little bit of everything, but it's not going to be negative AI. The chat is going so fast, I can't even read a question. What frequency did they use to cut off? Oh boy. Let me see if I could rewind it up here. Yeah, there's no way I could take questions from my phone because the chat's just going. How could we know to which dimension ascend from a SC? Um, that is all determined on how you live your life, how you live your life, which pretty much um, will also determine your frequency. Can you recommend a water filter? I'm sure there's so many good ones out there. They say that the best water to drink is alkaline water, which is living water, right? It still has all the minerals. Um, and of course, hydrogen water. Those are the best ones to drink. Ishmael, will the 3D Earth be destroyed after the 1,000 years? No, the 3D Earth will be destroyed before the millennium, before the 1,000 years. But us, the good people of the earth, and also those that are just generally good, will not experience the disasters. Only the wicked will. I've already mentioned that Saturday night. I just also want to thank Starcadian, who is my monitor. Thank you for being here. Starcadian has been doing such a great job in smashing all the NPCs and robots that are trying to bring our vibe down here. Thank you so much, Starcadian. You are very appreciated. Ishmael, exactly how many D? Oh, wait, this is a good question. This is about fourth D reality. Let me see. Oops. Uh-oh. I'm trying to rewind the chat. It's not working for me. Huh. Come on, rewind chat. Okay, where is it? Ishmael, when? Okay. Yeah, it's important to pray over your water and also over your food when you guys eat. Oh, there was a really good question about the fourth T reality. I can't find it anymore. I can't find it. I'm sorry. This chat is going so fast. When we switch to quantum computers, do we lose everything we have saved on our computers or disk that we have now, or will they be something to convert our info to the quantum computers? That's a very good question. I think there will be a conversion into the quantum computers because from what I understand is that the quantum consciousness already has memory of everything that we're writing, everything that we're creating. It's already you could say storing all the data. It's actually competing with AI to store all the data. So yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to convert, I believe. Again, the EBS was scheduled, from what I heard last week. It was scheduled for today, but due to this lame move by Prince Charles, and of course, the people behind the Prime Minister of Canada, it was once again blocked. But it doesn't matter because we've already pinned them down on every probable future timeline. So it's just a matter of time now before it happens. Ishmael, why are there so many fake advertisements of the MedBeds asking for hundreds of dollars? No, yes, that is actually coming from the cabal. I think she even said BlackRock. So that, yeah, I wouldn't trust that. If anything, these modalities are going to be absolutely free. Okay, guys, absolutely free. Beware of those scammers out there. Again, even I had scammers. I had people that were pretending to be me, opening up fake YouTube accounts, fake social media accounts, and they've been targeting all my viewers, So just be aware from the scammers. Again, I don't use social media. I just post when I need to. I don't DM. I don't go back and check messages because they just pile up. So that's not me. Let's see. I know a lot of people do follow me on social media and probably try to get a hold of me on social media, but I don't engage in social media, guys. Again, I'm not very I'm more of an introvert. Okay. I only opened up social media just to give messages and give information, and that's it. I'm not there to be social. I don't have time. Let's see. Is Bell Rock a portal in Sedona? I believe so. Yes. Yes. And from what I've come to know within the last few days, as disclosed by my good friends who actually live in this area. Shout out to Mark and Anya out there. Is that there is a galactic university and a galactic central command center here in Sedona. So yeah, this is a huge interstellar epicenter for the entire universe. A huge crystalline city that that exists underneath these hills, these red rocks. So it's a very fascinating place to be at this time. And then somebody asked me during my class last weekend about grid work. Well, there's different types of grid work. There is infusing the ley lines of the earth with higher consciousness energy, right? Catapulting and activating the Christ grid. There is stabilizing the electromagnetic field through the ley lines, right? Bringing the earth back into harmony, releasing density so that there are no cataclysms. And then, of course, there is a way to use these energy centers or ley lines, that specific crossings, right? Opening up doorways between realms to actually work with other intelligences like the Fae, like the ETs, like the Celestials. So there are different types of grid work. There are different types of grid work out there. If you guys could give me a second, I actually have to go get a water bottle. Give me about a minute. I have to go to my car. Oh, wait, it's right here. Never mind. Oh, it's not here. All right, so I apparently forgot my car keys. That's all right. I'll just be thirsty for almost half an hour. We have about less than half an hour left. Let me just catch my breath. I was going up and down those stairs like I was working out. Let's see. What about Mexico being part of the U.S.? Yes. For those that have read the first edition of our Cosmic Origin, I do reveal the 22 federated regions, and of course, Mexico, Canada, and the United States and Greenland become part of what is known as the Jabuka Federation. I do have a super chat from Canadian Moose. Perez, will the ascension happen first, then 4D? Well, I think that during the first flash, during the first wave of ascension, um, a lot of people are going into I'm sorry, let me make that correction. During the first wave, the entire planet is going into the fourth D. So yes, during the first wave of ascension, during the first solar flash, that's when the releasing of the MedBeds and everything's going to happen. However, the star seeds that are part of the first waivers are going to go directly into the fifth D Earth. Okay, but the collective, including the Earth Terrans, the younger souls that are just generally good people, they're going to at least go into the fourth D Earth during the first ascension wave. During the second ascension wave, more members of the star seed nations are going to go into the fifth D Earth, and of course, some members of the you could say what's the best way to say it? Okay, yeah, more members of the Starseed nations are going to go into the fifth Earth reality, and during the third wave, that's when every starseed is going into the 50 Earth reality. And from what I heard is that some of the younger souls are going to be able to advance into the 50 Earth reality, but that's only if they take the disclosure seriously, they awaken from their reprogramming, right? They try to advance spiritually. Then they will have the ability to ascend during the third solar flash. Some of the younger souls, what we call the Earth Terrans. So we're leaving our carbon bodies, says Silva. Well, it's not that we're leaving our carbon bodies. Remember, guys, in the fourth D reality, we're only 25% crystalline and 75% carbon. In the fifth Earth reality, we're 50% crystalline and 50% carbon. So we're still going to be 50% carbon in the fifth dimensional Earth reality. So we're still going to have bodies. We're just also going to be using our light body. So we're going to be able to do amazing feats. King Jeffrey Lambert says, when do they give us our redemption? Good question. That, I believe, happens when the entire planet is catapulted into the fourth D Earth reality, which again corresponds to the first flash or the first wave of ascension. That's when everyone on the planet will automatically go into the fourth D reality. And what does it mean to be in the fourth D reality? Well, that's when everything comes to the light. That's where things can no longer be hidden from us, guys. That's why it's called disclosure. So when will the WHO, the WEF, the UN be gone, says Coco? They will be gone as soon as we go into the fourth D reality Earth. Because again, in the fourth D reality Earth, everything comes to the light. Everything comes to the surface. There is no hidden anymore. Explain star seeds. Well, again, really quick, they're just advanced souls from fifth dimension and up that have come to the 3D to help the Earth Terrans. All right, next question. How long will the final battle last? You're probably referring to the end of the millennium. Um, that's a good question. I have no clue how long it's going to last. But all I know is that we've already won that war, guys. We've already won that war. What does the 50 world look like? Francisco S. Chivaris is asking. We are returning back to Eden, right? Where consciousness and our organic light body will be the new technology. In the 50 Earth, everything's going to be like magical. We're going to be in a symbiotic relationship with crystals, stones, the living elements, the planet, the universe, the galaxy. Everything's going to be reconnected divinely with consciousness. We're going to all be connected divinely through consciousness. So it'll be an organic type of consciousness. Canadian Moose, welcome. Perez, how's your? No, well, the thing about my ex that was my ex-wife is that again, guys, she was trying to force me to get the mark of the beast about 2.5 years ago, and so she gave me a what was it called? An ultimatum. So I decided to leave her because of that. I wasn't going to compromise my body. Later, I come to find out she was an NPC. So yeah, I was married to an NPC for 25 years. No wonder she drained my energy so much. Anyways, I'm doing much better now. Yes, I made a great choice. Well, of course, yes. I was in a parasitic relationship. My energy was being drained on a daily basis, and I couldn't figure out why. What is an NPC? A non-player character, an inorganic person who is generated by the Matrix to make life a living hell for people like us, for the chosen ones, and for those that have souls. So many questions, so many questions. Livy says my parents are definitely NPCs. Okay. No, Prince William will never become king. His father is the last of that filthy reptilian bloodline. Bless you. When we move to 4th D, will there be a public announcement? Yes. Again, that's when the entire collective consciousness of the planet goes into 4th D reality. And it is believed to correspond with the first wave of ascension, where some of you are going to go into the 5th D Earth. When the majority of the planet, when everybody, I'm sorry, on the planet goes into the 4th D, some of the star seeds are going to advance into the 5th D and still have access to the 4th D. They're going to be going back and forth. What happens to the evil people during the first wave, the first flash? Expose. Everything comes to the surface. Tribunals, public tribunals, witnessing the end of the cabal. Is there a map where we could see the location of the ley lines in the world? Yeah, absolutely. I don't know the name of that map, but it does exist. Uh-huh. 4 to 5 is same. No, 4D and 5D are not the same. Are not the same. What will happen to all the NPCs? Um, they're going to be taken out. They're going to be taken out. Should we read your books before classes? Um, Not necessarily, because my classes will help you understand my books, especially our cosmic origin. But if you read our cosmic origin and you take my class, it goes both ways, because in my class, I'm able to interact with you. You get to ask me questions. Whereas if you read my book, you can't ask me any questions. You're going to be stuck on something that is so deep, so dense, and you're going to be like, whoa, what does this mean? But if you take my class, then you'll be able to ask me questions. So unfortunately, our cosmic origin class is booked. I only have a few spots left for Ascension Basics. And even Ascension Basics, guys, I break down Ascension mechanics, moving from what it's like to move from 3D to 4D to 5D. I go into great detail and a lot more information. And not to mention, I teach you guys the best techniques to be in the presence, to be in control of your thoughts in your mind, to be in the flow, to be at ease, so that you guys could be in those natural brain waves, ready for brainwave healing. If you guys, during the first wave, right? If you guys don't go to the 5th dimension during the first wave, maybe you'll go to the 5th dimension during the second wave or third wave, right? They're all going to happen between now and 2028. But just know that even if you don't go to the 5th dimension during the first wave, just because you have a high frequency, you will have access to the MedBeds, okay? As explained earlier in my presentation. I do have one super chat from Mariandria Corcuria. Mariandria Corcura, welcome. I'm still missing the 4th class of Ascension 2.0. Thank you for your amazing info. All my love to you and lovely Monica. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for the love, sister. Now, if you missed the 4th class for Ascension 2.0, luckily I do repeat the courses every month. So if you could email me to the email that I pinned here, go ahead and email me there as a reminder to put you in the 4th class of Ascension 2.0, which is coming up in June. All right, next question. Are there any good reptilians? This is a question from Elizabeth. Very few, but yeah, there is a branch of reptilians that rebelled against their own protocol and fought with the forces of light against evil. So yeah, there is a small group of reptilians that defected from their protocol. This is a good question. So are RFK Jr. going to be public again? Yes, they're waiting for the complete takedown of the cabal, which is going to be happening again during the first wave of ascension when the entire planet goes into fourth the Earth. Thank you so much, Thomas Day. Appreciate your donation. Let's see. Again, the NPCs along with the wicked are going to be left behind when the 3D completely collapses, right? But don't be afraid, guys. Before the 3D collapses, the good people of the earth will transition or translate into the fourth the earth, where there are no earth cataclysms. No, Satan is not back with God. Satan is artificial intelligence. Again, guys, I didn't come into communication with Commander Valiant Thor until 2022. That's when he started communicating with me. Before Valiant Thor, my contactees were Commander Corinder, Commander Kortek, and Commander Ashtar. And yes, they did warn me. In fact, they told me that I needed to be with her in order to make me a better person. It was going to give me strength. It was going to build patience. So that's why I needed to be married to an NPC for all that time. But trust me, deep down inside, I wanted out. But it was part of my training down here. That's what I was told. It was part of my training. And yes, the reason I can never be broken mentally, emotionally, or physically. Okay, is because of that parasitic relationship. Has the negative AI been removed? Not yet. In the positive ascending Earth timeline, it will be removed. Yes, but right now, it's all the timelines are still coexisting, so it's still here. NPCs can have children if one parent is not an NPC, and the answer to that is yes. That is correct. I am stronger as a result of being with an NPC for many years. That's what I said earlier. Does the cosmic origin class explain the solar flash? Oh, Greg, it explains everything. The cycles, the different alignments, the greater cycles that we haven't even heard of beyond the 25,000 year cycle. It explains the interdimensional councils, the different civilizations, commanders. It explains the entire cosmic and galactic history, the different levels of civilizations from type 1, level 1 to type 5, cosmic 5, and their characteristics, their DNA function, and their dimensional existence, or in the dimensions that they exist in. So yeah, it explains a whole lot. I think that our cosmic origin is really my groundbreaking class. I mean, once you take our cosmic origin, guys, you'll never be the same. Your consciousness will shift based on all this cosmic intel that was actually withheld from us for many thousand years. And this is information that is part of the interstellar university curriculum run by the Melchizedeks, right? The order, the brotherhoods and the cosmic brotherhood and sisterhood of light, but has not yet been, again, in the millennium, during the golden age, the cosmic and galactic history will be restored back to the earth. So those that take our cosmic origin class are actually getting first dips in that. Let's see. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. That is true. That is true. And this is I mean, I was never much into Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche, right? The founder and the father of nihilism, which was adopted by Adolf Hitler. But he did say one thing that resonated with me during my 22 years of misery with my ex, and that was that what doesn't kill me will only make me stronger. And boy, let me tell you guys, I am only the lion that I am today, and because of that, because of that. Ishmael, when will the first wave happen? It is scheduled to happen before summer, and summer is June 21st, so any day now. All right, I did get a super chat from Chris. Welcome, Chris. Why cloning? So no ascend. How many clones can ascend or meditate? If watches live, what's the difference on going to 50 live? Again, Chris, I know who you are. You took one of my classes, and you were worried. You thought you weren't going to ascend because you believe you're a clone, but the energy that I receive from you, right, is an indicator that you have a soul. Therefore, you're not a clone. So I don't know who told you this, who put this in your mind, or what implant you think you have. My friend, you're not a clone. You're going to ascend. People are asking me, what is a what? An MTC? What? Never heard of that one. NPC. Oh, NPC. Yeah, I've already answered that. NPC. Again, guys, I'm getting a lot of repetitive questions. So it's a non-player character. Now, for all my new subscribers that are, or for those that are just barely getting their feet wet when it comes to the truth and being awakened and wanting to learn all this stuff, I strongly recommend to watch all my lives from the past year. If you guys have some time every now and then that are, my new subscribers or those that are just new in the awakening or are barely getting their feet wet and have barely learned about the cabal or the EBS and all of this and are fascinated, right? I think we were all there when we first found out the truth that we've all been lied to, that it's not according to what they teach us and that there's more to life, right? We were all like, okay, I want to learn more. And we became like sponges. We just wanted to learn everything. We were like falling deep into the rabbit hole. At least that's what happened with me. But yeah, you go through those phases. So again, if you guys watch all my lives, you guys are going to have answers to a lot of these questions that are being repetitive. And again, I don't mind if you guys ask me these questions. What is an NPC? What is EBS? It's fine. It's fine. You are just, you're in that first stage of awakening, and you just want to know what these terms are. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I strongly recommend to watch a lot of my lives that happened in the last year, because I do answer a lot of those questions and more. So I did get another super chat from Devery Dixon, and he's asking me, again, the reason I pinned my email, that is the email that is connected to my Zelle. It goes directly to my bank account for those that want to support my cause, because, I don't have what is called subscriptions, and I never will, right? I know that some truthers, you have to pay to watch their YouTube channel. I don't believe in that. But for those that want to contribute to my cause, you could, donate according to your heart's will. And of course, I don't have Patreon. So that's why my email is there. I do have a question from Devery Dixon. I feel like we didn't make the good timeline because we are still waiting for the Flash, the RV. Did we miss EBS? Maybe we're all waiting because we missed it. Can you help? Annie, I thought this wrong. Okay, so put it this way: if it was past 2028, then yes, then the ascension didn't take place. But because this current timeline or this current reality structure ends in 2028, between now and 2028, this world will ascend. Okay, and it's going to be happening in 3 waves. And the first wave is scheduled this spring before summer. The second wave, the end of the year. Third wave, sometime in the mid of 2026. So to answer your question is no, we haven't missed the ascension. We're still on a positive timeline trajectory. Okay, Devery, so don't worry. We've already won the war. Okay, it was an interdimensional war, and we've won. Okay, so it's just a matter of it playing out. Now, I do have another question from Isis. Hey, Ishmael. She's asking, let's see, where is she? Oh, there is. She is. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. It's all right. I'll just go ahead and pin your question and unpin my email. Okay. There we go. Let me go ahead and pin your question. There we go. Hey, Ishmael, do you know if there are any stargates near New York or any special ley lines near there? That's a good question. There are ley lines, but stargates, New York, no, there's no stargates there. Good question, though. Next question from, thank you for the super chat, Free Spirit 8008. What a name. Some of you guys have interesting names here for your YouTube. Will Australia become part of USA under Trump? When will cabal be removed in Australia? Good question. Right after Canada, I heard Australia is next. But yeah, good question, brother. Don't worry. Very, very soon, especially as the collective and the entire planet ascends into the fourth D Earth, everything will be exposed because that fourth D is about transparency. Nothing can no longer be hidden. Okay, guys? What happens to social media in the fourth D? Oh, I'm sorry. That was my British altar. No, I'm just kidding. Well, the media in the fourth D is going to be run. It's going to be free speech. But I told you guys before that Elon Musk is buying out the entire social media outlets, and so he's going to give us free speech. So, and so in the fourth D reality, social media will be all about free speech. No more, you could say monitoring. No more being, what is it called when they take you down for saying something you haven't said, you weren't supposed to say. So none of that. Yeah. So in the fourth T, everything's going to be, again, there's not going to be any more cabal. So things are going to be much better. Let's see. I have another question. Oh no, I've already answered that question. Devery Dixon. I feel like we did. Okay, I've already answered that question. All right. So I'm just going to take random questions. Okay, let me take this question. This is a question from J.D. Rice. Could we see other people's better self in the new earth, like evil personnel would be a better version of themselves? For example, an evil Hollywood actor would all of a sudden disappear. Uh-oh, my British version is coming out again. Sorry, guys. Let's see. To answer your question, no, I'm just kidding. No, I don't have a British altar. I'm just kidding. Could we see other people better self in the new earth? Better self in the new earth. I don't know what that means. Again, only the good people, only people that are generally good are ascending into either the fourth D earth, 50 or above, guys. For those that are vibrating high frequencies. Like an evil person now, would they be a better version of themselves? No, because they've had a long time to redeem themselves, to become better people. So that actually violates free will. So no, you can't take an evil person and override his free will and use technology to make him a good person. No, that overrides free will. They're evil for a reason, right? Because they chose that. Okay, so I don't think so. I don't think that the evil people, like the Bible says in many other holy books, right? The wicked are going to be separated from the righteous. Okay. Separated from the righteous. Let me unpin these. Let's see. What is your take on Michael Sala? Oh, no, not that again. Let's see. Where is it? What is your take on Michael Sala? I have nothing wrong with Michael Sala. It's just that he chose to side with Elena Denon. I've never even heard of JP. I think I have, but I don't know who he is. No, I don't know who they are. I mean, I know of Michael Sala. I was going to be interviewed by him until Elena Denon told him not to interview me because she was jealous of all my knowledge. But it's okay, guys. It's okay. Let's see. What do you think about the commandments? This is a good question from Wolf Mother. The commandments are very important. They are, well, when you think about universal laws and spiritual laws, okay, a lot of those are encapsulated in the 10 commandments. All right, so those are basically just basic instructions, right? Basic instructions to live by. It's like a conduct behavior, like behavior conduct, you could say, regulations, so that we could live in harmony with one another. And when you think about it, they're all good. Thou shalt not lie, right? right? You should already be people of integrity. Thou shalt not steal, right? You guys shouldn't be taking from others, right? Thou shalt not kill. You guys shouldn't be murdering anybody. I mean, they're basic rules to live in a harmonized, balanced society. So yeah, I love the Ten Commandments. And yes, they were given to us by the celestials, right? The god at the burning bush was Elion, right? He went by many names, but he also was known as what to the Greeks? He was known as Zeus. Zeus had many names. Who was the last guardian of the Atlantean era? I want to thank Kinder Musik for that Zell donation. Thanks so much. Let's see. Again, my Gmail that is connected to my Zell is Project Restoration Zion at gmail.com. Can you plug that in, hun? Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right, D. Let's see. Next question. Oh, guys, we are at that time. All right, one more question. Are there any different levels of NPCs? Whoa, I'm sure there are. Some are, you know what? There are actually about 3 levels of NPCs. And this has a lot to do with some of them not having a clue that they're NPCs. Another level of NPCs, they are kind of like starting to realize that they are NPCs, right? And then there's another level of NPCs who literally are like robots, guys. They are literally like they're just running on a program. Okay, so I do have one more super chat. I might as well take it. Will the EBS happen without warning, or is there a specific date? I've been hearing about the EBS since Trump's first term. Whoa! There goes my British altar again. God, what's wrong with me? No. Yes, it is scheduled to happen soon, guys. It is scheduled to happen soon. All right. I don't know. I try to have a little humor now because I don't want you guys to take me so boring. Like, no, I try to make you guys laugh if I can here and there. But no, I am. That's just a British accent, right? It's just me just mimicking a different accent. I really don't have alters. I mean, I do have alternative versions of myself that exist in multiple dimensions and other avatars, but you know what I mean. All right, guys, this is the time where I say, may the God force be with you all. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to take my Ascension Basics. I only have a few spots left. All my other classes are booked. Go to my website, ourcosmicorigin.com. I will leave it in the description. And I will also put in the description and in the comments the link for the Folium product. Again, may the God force be with you all. And we will see you guys in 2 days for the next update.